Hiya. Thanks for reaching out. Isn't it a nice day outside? Just look at the sun. Why couldn't it have been like this yesterday when I didn't have to work? I want to go outside really bad. So the topic that you have, sorry for pausing so dramatically, the topic that you have has been written about and chewed on for a long time. So there's tons of stuff out there. How do we narrow it down to stuff that is just being talked about today? Unless you want to go into the historic stuff. And then it's just like this unending trail of things. So let me know if you're interested in that. But the one that I would recommend the most is a public policy database. So public policy, assuming that it's democratic or semi-democratic, is where people come together and they look at precedents of what other folks have done, what other folks have talked about, and then they look at their own application and see like, well, okay, we're a country and we want renewable energy and we want to do nuclear. Is this right for us? And then that's where those opinions come through. So let me show you that, and let me show you some tips for getting around that. So from the library homepage, databases. And I like public policy database the best because this is where the debate leaves the philosophical and it's like people actually considering it. So I think that the rhetoric is going to be the best. So this database right here, PAIS, no idea what PAIS stands for. Maybe public something. So when I did my search, first of all, let me show you without all this stuff. If you just go into a public policy database, these are scholarship communications where people are like looking at the development of a policy, and then they're publishing it and they're talking about the methods that different governments used or considered, and they also look at public opinions. It's a little like political science, but a little more on the side of things that are happening, and they're analyzing what has happened and less of the philosophical. So you'll see that the dates go way back, 1959. That's helpful, isn't it? So when you look at all of those results, you can narrow it down. I'd recommend narrowing it down to our current century. Nuclear policy takes a long time to develop because of safety concerns. So you can see the dates. If you just mouse over, there's 2010. I bet this is all about Fukushima. But let's come up to our current, well, you could even come up to the current 10 years. But since it takes so long to develop, I'm going to go back out to like 2000. So we got 20 years-ish. So we'll get rid of all that Cold War stuff. It's thinking about it. I mean, not that the Cold War is bad to look at, but the rhetoric is so tied to nationalism that it's difficult to look at it objectively. We're sitting patiently. Dale's going crazy, hating how slow this is going. Okay, so that took 2,200 off of there. You can also go to scholarly journals only, which I'd recommend. I think books are going to be okay, but they're going to be maybe overly generic, where you're looking for specific arguments. That takes us down. Ooh, that one's actually really good. Oh, look at that. Public perceptions. I can live with nuclear energy if... So how do we get all of those things? Because some of these are just going to be like, France implemented a nuclear reactor and here's how they did it and blah, 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 blah. We want to get to those things that people are talking about and thinking and feeling and discussing. So we can use what this is. You would add a keyword. I mean, you could just do and opinion. Oh, my fingers are cold. But there's more to it than opinion. So they're going to be gathering data from a whole bunch of different ways of expressing these things. And so if you just use opinion, it's going to make it too narrow. Although that's not too bad, 470. So what I would recommend is using, while this filters in, is using a whole bunch of keywords that we know are related to what you're looking for. Argument or rhetoric or discourse. That's often like scholarship. Maybe I'll take discourse away. I can't remember what I had on there before. Opinion, argument, rhetoric, debate. Okay. What this means is it's going to look for nuclear energy out of all these public policy articles, and it's only going to bring back the ones that have nuclear energy in the title and the abstract and keywords. Out of that search set that came back, it's going to grab any of the articles that have any of those words like opinion or argument or rhetoric or debate. It doesn't have to have all of them, but just one of them in the title, abstract, keywords. And what you can do, here's the burden on you, and here's how to sort through all of the articles we're going to have. 700, that's a lot. How do you sort through those and figure out what the most important are for you? Is you could go through and read the title of every one of these and see if there's something you're interested in, but there's more sorting options. I mean, there's dates. You can see probably the discussion of Fukushima probably shows up in there. But you can go down to subject and you can see what's being written about. And you can click on more. And so these are the keywords organized by the number of times they show up. So studies, obviously, nuclear energy, obviously. But then we're going to get in, so if you wanted to go into politics, where we have representative politicians speaking on behalf of a community or a culture. There's international, there's weapons. So you could, there's foreign policy. Are we going to sell technology to other countries? So here's where you can get into the nitty gritty. But this could also be a way that you break down your argument. So some could look at weapons, some could look at reactors, some could look at, there's sustainable development. Right when I was about to say that. So this is a way of breaking it down. And if you wanted to just look at one of them, you could just click on that checkbox and then get those articles. Okay, so this is a great place to go. If that is too much stuff and you just want the things that have had the greatest impact, I have a database for that. And you could go to the library homepage and you could just search for everything, books, DVDs, films, and you can see what we've got in here. So there's 30,000 articles. There's 394 books. It might be worthwhile looking at the books, but that's really tough to get through those. And they're very edited, so you might miss a lot of the stuff that you're looking for. Another place you could go from the library homepage, if you wanted public opinion and you wanted to see those things expressed through the voices of people on the street, as it were, you can go to a newspapers database. Oh, you know what? Since you're in comm, there's a lot of people in communication that adore Nexus Uni. Used to be called LexisNexis. If anyone says LexisNexis, you know that you're getting into Nexus Uni. This is an index of newspapers. It goes back like 20 or 30 years. And here's how you might do that. But this is vetted only by the individual newspapers indexed here. So this isn't scholarly, not by a long shot. But if you wanted everyday people speaking things. So you can go into particular publications, law reviews, company, but I'll just stay with news. And I'm going to add and editorial. There probably should be like thousands of them. How many are there? Oh, there's 8,000. Okay. And again, you can go through the dates and the subjects and all that stuff. But it's tedious. So PAIS, Nexus Uni, and the last one I want to show you is called Scopus. Scopus allows you to do those searches and then sort by the number of times an article has been cited, and so how impactful that article is. Let me show you what I mean. So this database, it's all scholarly, it's mostly peer-reviewed, it's all really high-end scholarly journals, but it's all the disciplines. It's not just public policy. So you're going to have nuclear science, you're going to have hospitals, you're going to have business, you're going to have social sciences. It's all mixed in here. So I'm going to do my keywords again. So there's 1,200. Oh, whoa, that is very calm. Heuristic cues. But what you can do is, if you wanted to look at the debate from the past few years, again, let's avoid the Cold War. Let's go back to maybe like 2014. So the effect of Fukushima will be in there. And we'll limit to those. So there's 366. But I'm going to move my head. But what you can do now is, oh, it's still sorting, is over here, there's a pull down menu that says search or filter it by the number of times that something has been cited. So we narrowed down to the last 7 years, and arguably, if you publish an article and somebody cites your article, then that means that your article's importance and impact goes up. Like the difference it made in other articles, if they're citing you, that means you're good. So let's sort by number of times cited. And what that means is, and again, it's a potluck. So this eukaryotic life, that's like biology. So we can omit that one. But here's it's talking about German energy policy, more energy policies, nuclear energy. Oh, here we go. Here's our first article that actually was on topic. So it's a comparative analysis of public opinion regarding the Fukushima disaster. So that would be good. There would probably be a lot of analysis of public opinions, and it'll be boiled down into what's called themes. So what you can do, if you do a survey of like 10,000 people, you can boil those down into themes where people are like, I will never have nuclear energy, or I will have nuclear energy, but it has to be safe, or I'm cool if we have another nuclear accident. They break it down into themes, and that's where you get like 28% people were like, what are you going to do? So go through these and let me know how it goes. This is what I would do to start out with your topic. But this is like all over the place. So let me know if I'm missing the point, and I'm happy to help further. Have a good one.